Hello friends. So today we are going to do mock test number 3 of advanced bank management of CIB. So in this mock test we are going to solve super 20 questions and these questions are based on case study. So you also solve along with me and you should take maximum 20 minutes for that. And in between I'll be giving some explanation so that you can check your answers. So here's the first question. If receipt and expenditure of central government as per budget 2018-19 are as follows. Revenue receipt is given and out of that tax revenue is there, non-tax revenue is there, capital receipt is also given figure, recovery of loan is also there, other receipts are also there, and borrowings and other liabilities also comes on the receipt. And then expenditure side, expenditure on revenue account is also given, interest payment is also given, grant in aid for creation of capital asset is also given here, expenditure on capital account is also given. So first question is here, find the revenue deficit. So formula of revenue deficit is always revenue expenditure minus revenue receipt, because we are calculating here revenue deficit. So what is revenue expenditure here? So expenditure on revenue on account, that means it is here 21,41,772. You subtract from here 17,25,738. Okay, so if you subtract revenue expenditure minus revenue receipt, you will get the revenue deficit. So we are getting here revenue deficit as 4,16,034. Okay, so our first option is correct. Now second question. Now data is same here, but you have to calculate effective revenue deficit. So effective revenue deficit is always from the revenue deficit you subtract grant in aid for creation of capital asset. So from 4,16,034 you subtract grant in aid for creation of capital asset, that is 1,95,345. Okay, this figure you can subtract, so we'll get answer. We are getting here answer as a 2,20,689. So our answer is second option is correct here. Now question number third. Data is same here, but you have to calculate fiscal deficit. So for the shortcut of fiscal deficit, I already told you many times, fiscal deficit is always equal to borrowings. Okay, no need of calculation, you can do the calculation, but if borrowing is given here, just find out what is borrowing here. So borrowing is given as 6,24,276. So option C is correct here. Okay, next, and you can calculate the fiscal deficit by formula also. Total expenditure minus total receipt net of borrowing, means from total expenditure you subtract total receipt, and in this total receipt you always take revenue receipt, recovery of loan and other receipts. So if you do this, you will be getting same as net borrowings only. Okay, now so next question, fourth one, systematic process which is used to identify, measure, evaluate, encourage and improve employee performance is classified as. So this question has been taken from your HR. Systematic process which is used to identify, measure, evaluate, encourage and improve. employees performance is classified as performance management system. Okay, that means they are identifying, measuring, evaluating, encouraging, and also improvement is also there. So performance management system is the correct answer. Okay. Now fifth one, in which type of interview which is pre-planned and held in a formal atmosphere. So interview which is pre-planned and held in formal atmosphere is always pattern interview. Okay, it's not informal, it is not formal, and it is not structured also. So it is always called as a pattern interview. So option 2 is correct here. Now next sixth question here, again numerical type case study. From the following data, amount is in crore. Calculate gross national disposable income. So formula of gross national disposable system you must remember because many times this question is asked. So formula of gross national disposable income is here. National income plus consumption of fixed capital. That means whatever country has consumed itself, consumption of capital, fixed capital plus net current transfer from rest of the world, means whatever income is coming from the rest of the world, that is also counted in the gross national disposable income plus net indirect taxes. So now see the value here, national income, consumption fixed. So national income 2000, consumption of fixed capital 200 rupees, net current transfer from rest of the world 150, and net direct taxes 250. So we have to add all these three, or not all these three, all four. So we'll get gross national disposable income. Okay. Now question number 7th. In time series analysis, which source of variation can be estimated by ratio to trend method? So in time series analysis, which source of variation can be estimated by ratio to trend method? So name itself is telling which type, what is the correct answer here. Cyclic is not there. Trend name is coming here. So most probably answer is trend here. Seasonal is also not there. Irregular is also not there. So trend is the correct option. Okay. So option 2 is correct. Now question number 8. Most commonly used mathematical method for measuring the trend is, you must remember, it is least square method. So option 2 is correct here. Some of the questions are very direct, so you can remember the answer directly. Most commonly used mathematical method for measuring the trend is always least square method. Okay. So option 2 is correct here. Now question number 9th. Again a case study based question has come here. In a survey of 150 people in a city, it was found that there were 50 smokers. So out of 150, 50 are only smokers. Calculate. From the above data, we have to calculate the estimate of population proportion. So that means you have to calculate what is the probability of smokers. So probability is always number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. So favorable outcomes are 50 and total number of outcomes are here 150. So 50 divided by 150, we'll get 1 by 3. So 0.3333. Option first is correct here. Okay. Now question number 10th. Same data. In a survey of 150 people and 50 are smokers. So estimated standard error of population. So you have to remember the formula of standard error, because this question is coming many times. So a standard error is always square root. You have to take a square root. P1 minus P divided by N means what is the probability? probability we already found here 0.333, and 1 minus p means from 1 you subtract the probability. So 0.666 multiply and divide by n. N is 150 here total. Okay. So 0.333, 0.666 divided by 150. First you multiply, then take a square root. So we'll get here standard error sigma x equal to 0.0385. Okay. So option 3 is correct here. You must remember the formula of standard error. Square root means square root of total p into 1 minus p divided by n. Okay. Means after calculating p 1 minus p divided by n, you take a square root. We'll get the standard error. And this standard error is used for this variation also. We'll see the next question also here. Okay, next. Now question is same here, data is same. Calculate the following based on the above data. Binomial standard deviation. So binomial standard deviation is same as a standard error, only slight change in formula. It is square root n p q, means you put n 150, p 0.333, q is nothing but 1 minus p. Okay, so from the standard error, n was at the denominator. In the binomial standard deviation, n has come at the numerator. Only this is the difference. So now 150 multiplied by 0.333 and 0.666, you multiply and take a square root. So answer is coming 5.77. Okay, so option 3 is correct here. Okay, all other are not correct. So option 3, 5.77 is the correct answer. Okay, now 12th one. Data is same. That means in a survey of 150 people in a city, it was found that there were 50 smokers. So here you have to calculate 95% confidence interval level of population proportion. So for this purpose, I told you in the previous mock test also, you have to remember the multiplier number, that is called Z. Okay, because sometimes they may give in the test paper, sometimes this data is not given. So from your side, you have to apply this data. So what you have to remember, what is the Z value of means multiplier number for 99%? It is 2.58. For 95%, it is 1.96. And for 90% is 1.645. So all these three numbers are very, very important. You must remember. Then, what is the formula of confidence interval? So confidence interval formula is P, means probability, plus and minus, means one time will take plus, other time will take minus. 1.96. So 1.96 is the multiplier number, and sigma x means standard error. Okay, sigma errors we already found in the previous question. It was 0.0385. Okay, so p is nothing but 0.333 plus 1.96. 1.96 because it is 95% confidence level, so 1.96 multiplied by the sigma x plus. So one time we have taken plus here, and second time we have taken minus. Okay, so you have is for this we'll calculate for the plus also and plus for the minus also. So in the probability you just means Z into standard error. In probability one you add, other time you subtract. So that means what is the level of confidence interval? Our interval is getting 0.4088 and 0.2578. So now you can see the answer. So option 3 is correct here. Okay, so option 3 is correct here. Now again question has come, same data is given here. Now confidence interval for the 99%. Okay, so 99%, the Z factor is 2.58. So instead of putting 1.96, you have to put 2.58. Okay, so see the calculation here. So P plus and one more minus So first we are doing the calculation for the plus, and second time we are doing for the minus. So P same here, 0.333 plus 2.58 Z multiplier and standard error 0.0385. You multiply here, first you multiply, then you add it. So we are getting 0.4326, and after multiplying you subtract, then we are getting 0.2340. So what is the answer correct here? Option 1 is correct here. Okay, so these type case studies are asked very frequently. Okay, next. Now data is changed here. Now again question, from the following data calculate gross national disposable income. Same type question has come here but change data. Current transfer from government administrated department 215. It is in crore, 215 crore. Saving of non-departmental enterprises 7 crore. Net national product at factor cost 325. Net factor income from abroad 12. Net current transfer from rest of the world 12 crore. Net direct taxes 35 and subsidies 10. Okay, so to find out the gross national disposable income formula is same here. You can see once again here, net national product at factor cost plus net current transfer from rest of the world plus net direct taxes. Here new formula is coming here, always remember here, net direct taxes, NIT. So net direct taxes is always equal to indirect tax minus subsidies. Okay, so as per this question, net direct taxes, you can see here, indirect taxes minus subsidies, so automatic value is coming at 25. Okay, so we'll put this value directly, means 25 crore. Now put the means net national product at factor cost 325 crore, net current transfer from rest of the world 12 crore, and net indirect taxes 35 minus 10, we have put 25 crore. So 325 plus 12 crore, net factor income from abroad, and net indirect taxes. So we add up, we are getting here 362 crore. So what is the option correct here? Option 2 is correct here. Okay, and all other values we have not taken into account. That means current transfer from government administrative department and saving of non-departmental enterprises we have not taken into account. Only we have taken here net national product at factor cost, net factor income from abroad, and net indirect taxes. So what is the formula of net indirect taxes? I'll repeat once again here. So indirect taxes minus subsidies. Okay, so with this we have taken the account. And one more factor we have not taken into account, that is called net factor income from abroad, because we are calculating a gross national disposable income. Okay, now see the next question, 15. ABC Limited completed the transaction listed below. State whether each of the given transaction would cause the ratio listed opposite to increase, decrease, or remain unchanged. This question is from the ratio analysis. Paid the cash dividend. Now dividend is paid cash, dividend yield. Okay, so because dividend is paid in cash, so it will not affect the dividend yield, because dividend yield formula will remain same whether you pay cash or on credit. Okay, so it will remain unchanged. So what is the answer? It will remain unchanged. Okay, next question is that, now data is same here. What action is being taken? Redeemed debenture by issuing ordinary share. Rate of return on ordinary share holders equity. Redeem debenture by issuing ordinary share. So rate of return on ordinary share, that means because debenture are issued by debenture are redeemed by issuing ordinary shares. So number of shares are increasing. Okay, so number of shares are increasing. That means the denominator is increasing. So when denominator will increase, that means rate of return will decrease. Okay, so option 2 is correct here. That means rate of return on ordinary shareholders equity will decrease. Okay. Now next option 17. Data is same here. Purchased inventory on credit. So they are asking what is quick ratio. Quick ratio is always formula is quick asset divided by quick asset divided by current liability. I repeat once again here. What is quick ratio? Quick ratio is quick asset divided by quick asset divided by current liability. So because you are purchasing inventory on credit, so credit means you are increasing your liability. When you are increasing your liability, that means you are increasing your current liability. So your quick ratio will decrease. Okay. Now next question. Data is same here. So sold inventory for cash. That means what stock is there you are selling, and question is asked what is the current ratio. Current ratio is nothing but current asset divided by current liability. Okay, you are selling the inventory, we are getting the cash. Means asset, only the asset is interchange. The value of asset is not increasing at all. Okay, so asset remain unchanged. So current asset divided by current liability is not changing. So current ratio as per formula, current asset divided by current liability, nothing is happening. Okay, so it will remain unchanged. Okay, but condition is that sale price is equal to cost price. Okay, increase if sale price is greater than, because if sale price is greater than the, because your asset will increase. Okay, so that naturally your current ratio will increase. Now next question 19. Now data is same here. Issued additional ordinary share for cash. So they are asking debt ratio. What will happen to the debt ratio? So because debt ratio formula is total debt divided by total asset. So debt ratio is nothing but total debt divided by total asset. And what company is doing here? Company is using share for cash. Okay. So that means what is happening? Asset is increasing. So when asset is increasing, that means denominator is increasing. So debt ratio will decrease. Okay. So option 2 is correct here. Okay. Now next question. Data is same here. Only thing is that declared cash dividend on ordinary share. So cash dividend has been declared. So dividend payout. Okay, so what will happen to the dividend? So formula of dividend payout is dividend paid by dividing earning after tax. So because dividend has been declared, that means earning on dividend has increased. Okay, so dividend payout has increased. So dividend paid has increased. That means dividend payout will increase. Okay, because numerator is increasing. What is the formula of dividend payout? Dividend formula is dividend paid divided by earning after tax. So here only numerator is changing because dividend has been declared. So numerator is changing. So it will increase the dividend payout. So these were the 20 questions, and I think you must have solved. And if you are getting, means you are able to solve 12 questions, that means you are in very good position. And if you are able to solve 10 questions, then still you are in good position. And if you are able to solve less than 10 questions, that means you have to work hard. So keep watching my next mock test also. So thank you very much. Have a nice day and good day.